Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Clowney, how much you think you can get out of him on Sunday?
I hope a lot. I think he's had a good week of practice, little dress rehearsal today, but I know he's anxious and excited, and again, he'll just be part of the puzzle though, and he doesn't have to do anything superhuman. Just go out there and play the defense, and I think he's very, very excited. So we'll see how it holds up, and I'm excited for him.
Diggs is a little nicked up. I think he had his shoulder in the game, and he's got his knee. How much you think you can get out of him Sunday, especially with Bland coming back?
Yeah, well, number one, we're excited. DaRon's coming back, and Trey is dealing with some stuff, and like guys have to do. And I thought, like I said, it's awesome to see him come back in the game last week, and got the shoulder dinged up, and then come back in and to play and make a couple physical plays was great to see. So the best news of all is again getting DaRon back, because that gives you the flexibility to do the things that you need to do.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. Clowney, will he be on a pitch count?
Yeah, I mean, most of those guys are. We try to rotate them, but again, that number can get moved. It usually happens during the course of a game, but we'll be smart with them. This is a long season, and we're going to need them for the whole season.
What's been the mindset of the team? What kind of practice have you had?
I thought yesterday's practice was really good. Wednesday started a little slow. Had to start the practice over, and it's okay. It's part of the deal, and why? We weren't playing physical enough in pads, and we're not going to do that. And so I think we had run like 8 plays, 4 on offense, 4 on defense, and I called them up, and I said, hey, is the standard the standard? And to a man, they said, nope. I said, that's awesome. You're right. Let's start from the beginning. So I think we reran those 8 plays, and but man, yesterday I thought was really good. The defense on Wednesday I thought was excellent. But today's kind of the day where the ball shouldn't hit the ground on offense, and there shouldn't be a lot of completions given up on defense.
You mentioned Brian Schottenheimer for the ESPN. You mentioned the defense.
Thank you.
I don't know if you remember who I was. The communication defensively. Matt was talking about that the other day. He said that was improved when we got him yesterday.
Yeah, I think so. Again, like I said, Todd, I thought Wednesday's practice was good. I think Flu's talked a little bit about how we've simplified some things with the one-word calls and things like that, and I think that's just all part of the process of what we're trying to get done. But doing it in practice and doing it in a game is different. And so, yes, I like what we've been doing this week in practice. Needs to continue today, but then we have to see it on game day, and I expect we will. But we're off to a good start.
And then you mentioned starting practice over. Is that something that happens a lot, infrequent? How would you term it?
Depends on the coach, I think. There's some coaches that probably be like, yeah, let me see if this thing gets any better. I don't play that way. So if the standard's not being met, then we're gonna do it right.
John Machota with The Athletic. You've talked about how there's only 3 games in, 17-game season. You've said that a few times. I think you said only the 3rd round, a 17-round fight, things like that. How much have you preached that to the team when you get off to a 1-2 start like this?
Well, I think you preach that no matter whether you're 1-2, whether you're 10-3, whatever it is, because this is a business that flips in a hurry, John. All of a sudden you're sitting there and you're high as can be, and you're rolling into the playoffs as a 2 seed, and then you have a bad game. It changes fast, and so that's going to be the mantra, whether we're sitting here in week 10 at 7-3, or whether we're sitting here at 5-5, whatever it is. I mean, the mantra is not going to change, because each game is difficult in its own right. If you start focusing on things that have gone, well, what if we go back and we fix this? Well, number one, you can't do that. And, well, what if we do this, or what if we, you can't do that. So you focus in the moment. And the mentality this week's been very simple. Be 1-0 this week.
And then you said earlier in the week with CD and Tyler Booker that you didn't have to announce anything about putting them on the IR earlier in the week. Has anything changed there?
No, I still think, we're not forced to do anything right now. I think both guys we see doing a really good job. That could change. That could change at any moment. Got a full practice going today, but right now I think we're comfortable with where we're at. And I was watching Book on the stationary bike yesterday, man, and he was ripping that Aerodyne bike, and it felt like the air conditioning was turned up about 10 degrees cooler because he was flying.
Nick, Nick Harris, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. With the pass rush, 3 sacks in 3 games, has there been anything this week in practice to put some intention in that area, or is it kind of just a stay in the process?
No, I mean, we're always looking at things, when you want to get more pressure on the quarterback, we have to affect the quarterback. So there's been, game plan things that we're doing. There's personnel things that we're doing that I know you guys are going to ask me about that I'm not going to answer. But I think at the end of the day, I think this football team's going to come in here and try to run the ball on us. Why? I think that's the way Matt wants to play the game, and they're a really good run offense. And I think if they looked at their game against Cleveland, they're going to say, hey, for whatever reason, they didn't feel like they had their best day running the football. So you can almost go too far. So you have to prepare for all of it. You can't just say, hey, let's go sack the quarterback, let's go do this, and then give up a ton of yards on the ground. So one play at a time mentality. I like the plan. I think it's coming together well. I like our communication. And more importantly, I like the mindset. Our guys are excited about this game. And not because it's the Green Bay Packers, because it's the next one. And it's back home in AT&T Stadium.
Is there also a lot, probably, too, in being able to stop the run game from Josh Jacobs and the Packers? Don't allow play action from Jordan Love, force more drop-back situations, and that can allow more pass rush opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, again, if we can get ahead of oh, my goodness gracious. I will stop what I'm doing for this.
This is my favorite coach.
Hey, all right, we're down to the next one, right? How you doing, man?
Good
Good to see you. You doing all right?
Pulling every day. I thought maybe you could use me, but I guess not.
Go get fitted up. Go see Bucky and Mike. Go get fitted up. You look good.
I can still throw.
Yeah. Hey, you always could. And I never worry about your legs, right?
I get upset every time. I'm such a Cowboy fan, so Coach, I'm for you.
I appreciate you, man. Seriously, really do.
Well, it's
Yeah, great seeing you, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great seeing you.
Yeah, great seeing you.
Hi, team. See you later.
That's really cool.
This must be the media.
Hey, we can pull up a chair. Hey, you want to sit right here? Yeah, we'll pull up a chair, yeah.
We can maybe talk about the Naval Academy games or something.
Hail Mary, Hail
I
Mary.
still love the Cowboys, and I don't want you to. Right now, I'm pulling. It's amazing how when I would sit down and start watching the Cowboy game, I feel like I'm out there. I'm so.
Because you love it. You love it.
Yeah, yeah.
And the way you played, you knew you loved it.
This year is going to be. We're right now. We're okay, but we're going to get better.
No doubt. That's the plan.
Good seeing you.
Hey, great seeing you. See you, Roger.
Sorry to interrupt, though.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. That's pretty cool. I'm ready for practice. I'm juiced up for practice now. Let's go get that guy some pads.
We're all starstruck on that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, Joe White.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, good luck, Joe.
Thank you for not
Yeah, great
following me.
question, Joe. Jeez.
Joe Hoy, Dallas Morning News. DaRon Bland obviously is quiet, but the communication issues started kind of happening after he was out. How much can a boost can DaRon Bland and part of that multiplicity that he brings help in terms of the communication?
Yeah, it's not just about one player. When you talk about that, Joe, I think DaRon's a really good football player. We know that. What he is though is he is just consistent. DaRon is just so consistent. So I think that's the bigger thing. But I wouldn't tie this into, like I said, one person, one play. It's not been good enough and needs to get better. And when it does, I think you'll see us, winning games. And but that's the other part of this deal is, again, it's all 3 phases. There was phases, on offense where we turned the ball over too many times, and the defense gave up explosives, and we didn't get great field position in the kicking game. And ultimate team game, man.
And we've talked so much about you guys have to adjust without Michael Parsons. How have you seen Green Bay adjust without Kenny Clark?
Yeah, that's a good question. Again, they're still very, very talented, but I know in talking to some of their coaches just, in passing over the past couple weeks since the trade, and how much they miss Kenny as a man, as a teammate, and his play style. So happy to have Kenny, and he will be the captain of the week this week. So there you go.
Tommy Arch, DallasCowboys.com. When you think back to when you're building your staff and you were talking with Clayton Adams to now 3 games in, what's kind of stood out about him, and what do you feel like has worked well in your marriage to get this run game going?
Yeah, the creativeness of his mind, the understanding. We both believe in the fact that you have to marry your runs and passes together, that one without the other doesn't work. If you only run it when you're in the gun and you throw it from under center or vice versa, you got to have marriage, and that's personnel groupings, formations, things like that. But I love his demeanor. You know, I've told you guys how funny he is, but like the players really want to play for him. They want to please him. He's a great communicator, and I think he compliments me in a lot of ways because I can be. You guys never see this. I can be a little temperamental and get a little bit angry, and Clayton kind of like that, you know, and that's good for me. And it's good to know that you have those people that maybe compliment some of your weaknesses.
We saw the video yesterday. You guys had some cancer survivors out at practice. You opened up about your battle with thyroid cancer at training camp. Does it hit close to home when those things happen around this time?
Yeah, I think it does. I think, you know, we've got a couple young men in today from Make-A-Wish as well. I think one thing you can never lose sight of is the fact of how blessed we are. I mean, here I am, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys in 2025, and what an incredible honor that is for me, and I'm healthy, and I've got amazing family and a chance to lead these young men, and these young men are professional football players and living their wildest dreams of doing something that they love to do in a place like Dallas, and I think you're just reminded of your blessings, and so when people that come that are maybe having to fight through things and have that type of grit and tenacity to battle cancer or battle some of the issues that these young men that we're having out today, like, why wouldn't you stop and spend time and just get to know them and speak to them and tell them how much you respect them? And just getting a chance to visit yesterday with the young ladies that were here, man, I just told them how much I respect them and appreciate them, and they model for us what we're going through. Are we dealing with adversity? Of course we are. Is the adversity going to stop this weekend? I don't know. If it stops this weekend, guess what? Week 3, 4, 5 from now, it's coming back. So I just told them that. I said, I appreciate you guys modeling how you handle adversity and in the real game, which is life.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Brian, Clayton Adams said yesterday that Cavante Turpin is the straw that stirs your drink. That's a comment that one would associate maybe with a number one wide receiver. Why is Cavante Turpin the straw that stirs?
He's the Steve Nash of our football team, man. He, I think I shared this with you guys. We did a study about Steve Nash in 1 year. I'm not sure when. I think it was one of his MVP seasons. There was a study done where he led the team in fist bumps, high fives, and ass pats. I can say ass pats, I guess. But that's what he led the team in. And there's something about that positive energy that Turk brings, to the point where even Clayton bought him a Steve Nash jersey that we presented to him in training camp, because he truly is that guy. The guy loves to play football. He's so thankful to be a Dallas Cowboy and to be among his brothers and doing things that he loves. And I think that's why he probably said that, because he is our Steve Nash. And Steve, if you're listening, he is upholding your legacy because he is incredible at it.
Skyler Dixon with PAP. What's the challenge of facing Micah and the rest of that pass rushing crew when you're kind of got some shuffling going on in the offensive line?
Well, it's a challenge no matter what, Skyler. I mean, whether you're 100% healthy or whatever, it's a challenge because they're talented, they're fast, they've got good scheme. The linebackers, man, nobody talks about their linebackers, how fast they are. I'm talking about Walker and Cooper. I mean, those guys can fly. And so they're fast adders. So in man-to-man, right, you're over here looking at Nick, and all of a sudden, the back hesitates, and you've got me in man-to-man, and they go, and so it's adding pieces to the pass rush. And so it is a challenge, and we have to play with really good hands, and we have to play complementary pass protection, working together and things like that. And we're going to change it up, and, we're going to take some shots, and we're going to throw it quick, and we're going to do different things like that, because if you just try to play it one way, you're going to struggle. And the best thing for us will be having a great running game going into this game.
That's the other thing I was going to ask related to that. You've been pretty pleased with the run game so far. How do you sort of sustain that when you've had to make some changes up front?
Yeah, the good news for us, man, is, we like when you lose Cooper, BB, you got a guy like Brock that's getting ready to step in. When you lose Booker, you got a guy like TJ Bass getting ready to step in. These guys have been around. They know the system. They know us. They've worked together. Brock and TJ have run 1,000 combination blocks together. Terrence Steele and TJ have run 1,000 combinations. Brock and Tyler Smith, because they've been here. So I think when you look at the depth that we've created here, that's what we wanted because we knew injuries were part of the game. We knew there was going to be issues that we would have to deal with. You never want to have multiple injuries at a certain spot. That always adds layers to it. But like I said, no excuses, man. We just throw the ball out there against these guys, a hell of a football team in the Packers, and can't wait till Sunday night.
We got time for two more quick ones, Christy and then Todd.
Yeah, Christy Scales, Cowboys Radio 105.3. Just a little more on their run defense. I mean, it's so stingy, and this is going to be strength versus strength, your run game versus their run defense. What do they do? Are they just whipping their guys up front? Do they do some run blitzing, a lot of scheme stuff? What do you see with that?
There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of things you have to block. The linebacker's speed makes up for a lot of things. Everybody, all 11 guys tackle and run to the ball, and they don't give up a lot of explosives because of their team speed. The team speed jumps off the film. It really does. This is one of the faster, if not the fastest, defenses that we'll see this year from top to bottom. And so that allows to cover up for some mistakes that maybe you make because you got guys that can really, really show up in a hurry.
I changed what I was going to ask you, but how many interactions have you had with Roger since you became the head coach?
With Roger?
Yeah.
That's my first one. Yeah, that's why I'm trying not to show all my emotions. But as soon as I get out of here, you're going to see me skipping down the hall to the practice. I might even call the guys up and be, hey, guess who I just hung out with? He came to see me. So, but no, like I said, man, I'm a football junkie and one of the best of all time, man. Cool. Thanks, guys.